whispers, the meadow sings. Feet on the path where the sunlight clings. Each step is a note in a song that we hum. The hills are alive with the beat of a drum. Through the hills of Hobbiton we roam, carrying hope to bring it home. The sky is wide, the breeze is kind. We leave our fears a step behind. Four small shadows on the golden rise, a tale of courage in our eager eyes. The trees bow low to let us through. The world feels old, but the heart is new. Every stone, every root a guide. We follow the winds, we never hide. Through the hills of Hobbiton we roam, carrying hope to bring it home. The sky is wide, the breeze is kind. We leave our fears a step behind. Will the stars light the way when the dark descends? Will the road twist and turn? Will it ever end? We hold hands tighter when the night grows cold. The fire inside is worth more than gold.
A Hobbit's Tale by Daniel van der Horst. Forward. This is a story that begs to be told. And to be honest, it's been kicking around in my head for a long time now. So I thought, what the hell, let's get this on computer where it belongs and let the chips fall where they may. This is a tale of adventure, full of heartwarming moments and life lessons, growth and conflict, action, edge-of-your-seat panic, as well as comfort and wonder. Some may call it chicken soup for the soul. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did making it. Chapter 1. Hedges and Willows. It was a strange season in the hollow. The winds had grown thick with stillness, and folk no longer sang as they weeded their gardens or traded over fences. The apple trees bore bitter fruit, and the barrow hares died quietly in their nests. It started with tiredness, a slow, grey sort of weariness that settled into the bones and would not leave. They called it the wasting. And though the big folk muttered of poisoned streams or forgotten curses, it was the hobbits, stubborn, sharp-eyed and quietly defiant, who remembered stories. "Go to the old forest," said Widow Fernweather. "Seek the master of the wood, water and hill. He dances with the river daughter still." The morning was chilly, dappled and cool, and so 4 young hobbit lasses packed small bundles, kissed worried elders goodbye, and slipped out of town, and a short walk ensued. Soon the old hedge loomed up before them, a green and ominous wall, as it always was. They found the gate looming like a great portal of greenery. Each swallowed a lump in their throats, and off they went. Belle looked back to see if anyone was watching them leave, and of course there was no one. most respectable hobbits would still be asleep in their beds or eating breakfast at this early hour. The old forest leaned in around them, boughs heavy, air thick with memory. Already the path bent oddly, and the wind hummed a few low notes like a forgotten lullaby. The girls travelled on for what seemed like hours, although it was difficult to tell with so much tree canopy overhead. Belle yawned a wide and extended yawn that could have woken the dead, causing the other girls to copy her in earnest. "Stop that," Daisy said, giving them all small whacks with the flat of her hand. "Keep alert, you lot. You know the tales as well as I." You could hear it before you saw it. A fluttering, a tug, a rush of golden leaves down a dry stream bed. And then a voice, faint but playful, began. "Hop along, hurry on, feet on the dew. Water sings secrets I better keep from view." The young hobbits glanced at one another, eyes wide, hearts thudding, and without a word they all began to move. The voice was fading, light as wind through cattails. "Hop along, hurry on, follow the fall. She's brushing the stones with the tears of it all." Daisy Gamgee, granddaughter of Eleanor Gamgee, looked toward her companions, placing her hands on her hips. "This all feels too easy. Are we sure this is truly the voice of the Master of the Wood?" The others just looked at her and shrugged their shoulders in that universal way that said, "Meh, just go with it." They continued, roots tugging at their toes, and the tree seemed to lean in closer. Not cruelly, just curiously. The deeper they went, the more the wood started to shimmer, with that strange between-time feeling, like waking from a dream that you didn't know you were having. The stream bed deepened into a soft ravine, golden leaves carpeting the stones like a quiet procession. The air smelled of river mint and something sweeter beneath, like rain on old petals. Suddenly, Myrtle Brandybuck halted. "Look," she whispered. Nestled beneath the crooked elder, a little wooden boat was moored, no bigger than a laundry tub, filled with water that didn't spill. Floating in it, a single white flower glowed faintly. Primrose leaned closer towards it. "That's not normal. What's a lily doing floating all by its lonesome in a weird boat?" Prim for short, also known as Primrose Proudfoot, squinted down at the unusual sight. "Nope, that's fairy work for sure." Myrtle crouches down next to Primrose to get a better view. "Or invitation," Myrtle piped in. The wind started to stir again, and this time the voice they heard earlier comes from behind them. "Some roots drink sorrow, some drink light, and some just want a friend tonight." They all turned to face the sound, quizzical looks etched on their faces. Standing atop the mossy rise, bare feet glowing faintly with river glow, is a child-shaped figure, woven from leaves, twigs, a dandelion seed head, and glimmering dew. No face, but a sense of delight, and something older behind it there is. Myrtle didn't remember the whole song, just a scrap of something her nana used to hum when the wind moaned through the shutters at Bag End. The song came from the writings of Meriadoc Brandybuck, who could never get over the fact that the Sackville Bagginses bought up old Bilbo and Frodo's home, and when she passed away, he bought it himself, with a lot of cloak and dagger and trouble as one would expect. The song that came to her mind now was that of trees, of Fangorn Forest, and the supposed Ents that dwelt there. If they weren't just a fancy made up by a marvellous storyteller. It felt right, so she just opened up her mouth and the words flowed out. "Soft as a water winding slow, down the roots where green things grow. If you listen, if you stay, trees and legs will show the way." Her voice was not strong. In fact, there was amusement in her tone and a bit of doubt. But the leaves of the trees trembled like bells, and the little flower in the boat glowed brighter. its petals unfolding to reveal a single drop of moonlight captured like dew. The figure of leaves bowed low, hands clasped as if in solemn respect. It then turned, took a step, and then blew away on the breeze, a few small twigs falling lifelessly to the ground. Myrtle noticed that its feet left no marks upon the moss. How strange, she thought. Something made a crack behind them, and the boat began to move, floating upstream through the dry bed as if drawn by unseen hands. The little vessel carved the trail through golden leaves, winding beyond sight behind the ancient willow whose trunk had now cracked open slightly, almost big enough to wiggle through. From within, pinpoints of stars glowed, faint blue and unmistakably otherworldly. Daisy was not used to all these strange goings-ons, and being a practical lass, out of her element, whispers to Primrose, "What was that?" Primrose shrugs and gives her a placating grin, self-consciously running her hands through her long, dark brown, almost black hair. Belle, with her short pixie-cut hair and waifish looks, rummages around in a pocket at her side and pulls out her old leather sling, which she clutches tightly in her hand. "No turning back now," she says. Daisy, sturdy and bold with red wavy shoulder-length hair, turns towards Myrtle and in a very loud, over-exaggerated voice calls into the hollow, "If we get eaten by a willow, I'm haunting you forever, Myrtle." Myrtle then steps closer to the great willow, whose trunk is tall and folded with roots, its bark old and furrowed like an elder's brow. The tree's branches sway a little, and a small tremor can be felt beneath the ground. The others hold their breath. Myrtle closes her eyes, then places one hand on the bark of the tree. Myrtle then begins to sing softly, not in fear, but with earnest respect and a little smug smile. "O gentle willow, ancient tree, we hobbits come in hope, not glee. Your arms are vast, your dreams are deep, but please let us pass, don't put us to sleep. We offer jam from garden sweet, a gift from root and hobbit feet. No fire, no axe, no foul design, just tired hearts and hope to find." Myrtle then stuffs her hand into Daisy's satchel, who grumbles at her but relents. Myrtle then proceeds to place the small jar of strawberry and rosehip jam gently at the roots of the tree, dipping in a finger and tasting it with a nod of approval. There is a long pause. Then the ground starts to shudder beneath them, and the earth and its roots start to writhe and settle into a clear set of steps, and the bark of the tree yawns wide into a doorway. It's like the tree is relaxing, and a definable sigh of relief vibrates within the tree. The last roots fall into place with a damp, earthy slap as a definable path now leads down to an unknown earth and root stairway below. Daisy exhales. "All right, friendly enough." Belle eyes the doorway, sling in hand. "I still think it wants to eat us. Just politely?" The willow's tunnel leads the party downward into an amber-lit rootway, where the air feels wet with memory. Moss grows in spiral patterns, the walls drip faintly with water song. Somewhere ahead, they can hear a voice, not one they understand, but one that seems to know you. It hums in time with Myrtle's song, faint echoes that draw them on. Faint laughter can be heard ahead, and two voices intertwined. One deep, joyful like the chuckle of wind through stone, one high, musical like a stream tickling wildflowers. The four hobbit lasses exchange a look at each other. Without a word, they move closer, shoulder to shoulder, fingers reaching out until they are holding hands, forming a little knot of warmth amid the hush of the root and shadow. Primrose squeezes Daisy's hand tight, more protectively than she'd admit. Daisy grumbles, "If any of you fall in a root hole, I'm not pulling you out." Belle just smiles and pokes her tongue out at them, her eyes wide with wonder. Myrtle hums something old under her breath, a habit she has when she's nervous. And so they descend. The tunnel winds deeper beneath the willow. Its walls are glowing faintly with silver-luminescent specks, like starlight soaked into the bark. The moss is cool beneath their feet, and the air carries the scent of old rain, honeysuckle, and something else. Each step forward feels like they are walking into a dream they once had as a child and never told anyone about. They soon pass into a cluster of sleeping toads, singing in their dreams, their quiet chorus strange in the hallway. They pass a root curled into the shape of a cradle, rocking gently on its own, red and white mushrooms blooming about it and a glowing pool of water. The light grows brighter ahead. At last they enter a wide chamber beneath the earth, where a ring of stone circles a small spring bubbling with light. There they stand, Goldberry, her hair flowing like sunlit water, and her dress rippling with green silk and silver pinpoints of starlight. Her eyes are like the shallows of a forest stream, green under tree light. She hums as she lays a hand upon a stone, and flowers bloom where she touches. Tom Bombadil stands next to Goldberry, in a blue coat, yellow boots, and a wild hat that has a feather that dances when there's no wind. The feather is now spinning in place. Tom laughs with the joy of a song that only he can hear. Tom, Tom, jolly and bright, old forest hummer and moonbeam light, who comes a-walking quiet and small, our little sister's heard your call. He stops then, eyes twinkling, and winks at the stunned hobbits. For a moment the entire chamber holds its breath. Goldberry steps towards them, her voice like rainfall in summer. You come from Bree, where the land forgets to sing. You bring no fire, no blade, no lie. You bring need. Bella, ever the bold one, takes a step forward and clears her throat. We come from Bree, she says a little too loudly, then steadies herself. There's a sickness. It started slow. People sleep too much, forget to plant, forget to smile. The land's gone heavy. No one knows what it is. She pauses, then goes on when Goldberry smiles and nods encouragement. Some say it's in the air, others in the water, but we think it's older than that, and quieter. It's like something's forgotten how to be alive. Myrtle steps up beside Belle and places a hand comfortingly on her shoulder. Daisy opens up her pack and sets a sealed jar of clean spring water from Crick Hollow beside the stones. Primrose holds up a bundle of dried flowers, once fragrant, now dull. Please, Primrose says. We were told to find the river daughter, to seek the one who dances with roots and stars. We don't know what to ask, but we're asking anyway. Tom's feather stops spinning. His boots still from a little shuffling dance, and a look of seriousness comes over his face and eyes. For a long moment he stares deep and far, and not at all at the hobbits, but at something behind them, around them, within the earth. Ho now, he says loudly, which echoes around the cavern. The land forgets to sing, you say? That's not the wind's work. Not sickness of root or rot of bark. No, 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 no. He steps to the bubbling spring and dips a single finger in. It glows yellow, then dims. Something's drinking joy, stealing the will to grow. That's no pestilence, little hobbits. That's an echo. He hums again, more serious this time. An old oath unfulfilled, a voice that's been buried still, a binding made in sunken stone, and a sorrow that calls from roots alone. When the ring was cast on down, many shadows fled, but none, all were slain, some became seeds of dread. He kneels beside the girls, laying one hand on Myrtle's cheek and the other on Daisy's shoulder. The wasting is not a death, it is unbeing. The land does not die, It falls asleep. You must wake it. Tom starts to sing and Goldberry joins in.
I know a path through the Barrow Hills and under stone to the place where the old owl sleeps alone.
But oh, it's not for boots of gold, it's for bare feet and hearts still bold. And only those who carry love can pass beneath the stones above.
Primrose steps forward now, her voice trembling, not with fear, but with the weight of their voices and an understanding that what's broken is older than them all. Goldberry, what was the oath, she asks. Who made it? And what was left undone? The river daughter turns, her long hair spilling like water down her shoulders. She lowers herself to sit on a mossy stone, her eyes clouded, as though seeing both past and future in the same breath. Long ago, before the Shire, before Bree, before the first Hobbit ever sang, there were 3 waters of the Greenway. One flowed in sunlight, one beneath stars, and one carried sorrow through stone. The last was the Withy Water, a river that once ran from the Barrow Downs to the sea. It was bound to a purpose, to carry grief away from the land, to cleanse sorrow so roots could grow again. But when the shadow came, when the witch king ruled Carndun, and men betrayed men, the oath was broken. The river was damned with fear. Its spirit was sealed beneath the barrows. Now the Withy Water sleeps, but its grief remains, rising like mist. It seeps into soil, into roots, into hearts. That grief is what you call the wasting. Bell mutters. So the land's drowning in tears, it can't be shed. Goldberry nods. The oath was made by 3 guardians. One was water, one was bone, the third was neither. You must go to the Barrow Hollows, find the old water path, speak the names, and awaken the river. Tum chimes in, twirling once more. But careful now, careful there, oath's broken, twist and darksome air. You'll find what's gone and what still waits behind the stone and silver gates. Goldberry's eyes shimmer with starlight and deep-rooted gentleness as the Hobbit lasses step forward one by one, each offering not gold, nor gems, nor swords, but something far more precious, what only Hobbits would think to give. Daisy strides forward, digging in her packs. It's not fancy, mind you, she mutters, cheeks red. Strawberry and dandelion with a pinch of birch sugar. Set it under moonlight last midsummer. She places the jar at Goldberry's feet and adds almost as an afterthought. If you stir it 3 times counterclockwise and whistle a sad tune, it tastes twice as good. Goldberry touches the jar, eyes closed. This is kindness, set to sweetness, I accept. Belle fidgets, then grins, and tucks her slingshot away. All right, listen close. Lady of the River, you want a pumpkin, so big you can sleep in it. Here's the trick. She kneels, whispering. First, you plant the seed during the hour just before the dawn, when the dew's coldest. Second, this is the key, mind you. You bury a scrap of old laughter under the soil, something funny, something real funny. It listens, you see, and it remembers, and it can't help but swell up in laughter over next waxing moon. Goldberry laughs, a sound like rain dancing on glass. You grow joy. With clever hands, I accept. Primrose digs in her pocket and pulls out a little wooden box. She presents it to Goldberry and opens its lid. Inside are 3 dried primrose flowers of different shades and exquisite patterns. The rest is filled with seeds. I grew these back in Hobbiton, Prim says. No one else has anything like them. Goldberry's eyes light up as she gazes at the flowers in excitement. They are truly beautiful, young lady, and I can't wait to add them to my garden. Oh, what a treasure you have given me. I accept. She gently kisses Primrose on the cheek. Primrose flushes red with embarrassment and takes a step back. Myrtle steps forward slowly, hands clasped on her long brown braid. Her voice is a bare whisper. I don't know where this came from. I just sing it sometimes. She sings again, the same melody she offered at the stream, this time with a second verse, flowing from her like water from a spring she didn't know was there.
River daughter, sorrow clear, wash away the weight of fear. We bring the green where grey has clung, and teach again the songs unsung. Through time and care we travel here to your place of power clear. Not for power, treasure, or beer, but to seek some answers we hold dear.
Myrtle bows, cheeks flushed. Please, if it's not too much, I've heard your voice is the most beautiful sound in the world. Would you sing too? Goldberry's face softens. Only one who sings with no need to impress may ask that. And so, I shall sing. Myrtle grins, but says nothing. She simply walks forward, wraps her arms gently around Goldberry's waist, and hugs her, as one hugs the river after a long drought. She doesn't ask, she doesn't wait for permission. Goldberry bends down, embraces her in return, and presses her cheek to Myrtle's hair. And you give freely. What mortals guard most, I accept. Then she sings. It's not loud, it's not grand, it doesn't echo. Instead, it wraps around them like a blanket made of moonlight and morning. It is the sound of river reeds swaying in soft breeze, the hush of moss growing in the dark, the echo of memory you never want to wake from. For a moment, each hobbit sees something. Daisy sees her mother, alive again, laughing over berry pots. Belle sees her father, younger, riding the hedge path with a blade of grass in his teeth. Primrose sees her father, proud as she hits a practice target with an arrow. Myrtle sees the stars, so close she could touch them like the ink stains on her fingers. When the song ends, none of them speak. Even Tom dabs his eye with a sleeve. Goldberry presses her fingers to the spring, then to each of their foreheads. My blessing I give you. The river will not turn against you. Come now and let's retire to some true comfort, warmth and good food. As twilight settles over the root hollow beneath the ancient willow, the Hobbit lasses find themselves whisked away by Tom's infectious pace. Soon the lantern glow from the spring dims to a gentle amber in the distance, and the Hobbits find themselves sitting inside the cheery homestead of Tom and Goldberry. Their bellies warm with seed cakes and sweetroot tea gifted by Goldberry's garden, the girls nestle into mossy silk blankets shaped by Goldberry's own hand, soft and cool and fragrant with green things, in a large carved wooden bed. Tom dances a lazy circle near the edge of the chamber, his hat tilted back, boots kicked off, toes wriggling in the mossy carpet. He hums a few bars, then breaks into song, bright and rhythmic, like clovers twirling in breeze. Tom finishes with an almost clumsy twirl, which he lands in theatrical pose, and lands it in a loud ha 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 that makes even Daisy giggle. Then Goldberry lifts her voice, no theatrics, just a clear, sweet melody that sounds older than the stars, drifting like mist over still water. Goldberry's verse is haunting, warm and prophetic, and the hobbits find themselves drifting into a trance. Her voice softens, lulls, becomes something more like a lullaby, one your grandmother might have hummed while brushing your hair beneath starlight. And with that, the hollow fades to stillness, just the sound of water dripping, tree roots sighing, and two eternal beings watching over four brave little hearts, tucked in and off to sleep. Tomorrow will bring what it will, but tonight they are safe and as good as home. Goldberry lays her hand in Tom's, gazing at the sleeping hobbits, and a single silver tear glistens wetly on her cheek, old sorrow gleaming in her eyes of things better left unsaid. She blows out the candle and softly closes the door.
Hobbits by the hollow, sleepy eyes a blinking, shadows chased by stories, heads too full for thinking. Lay your bones on mossy stones, forget the heavy creeping moans. I'll watch the roots, I'll guard the stars, no bogs or whites will catch your strides.
I know a path through the Barrow Hills and under stone to the place where the old oath sleeps alone.
But ho, it's not for boots of gold, it's for bare feet and hearts still bold. And only those who carry love can pass beneath the stones above.
Tomorrow brings the whisper hills where sorrow drinks and silence spills. But tonight, ho ho, not gloom, no fear, just dreams and toadstools growing near.
Hardened feet will walk the stone where moss forgets its name. Gentle hands must lift the weight of sorrow born from shame.
In quiet Barrow echoes wait, not all who cry are foes, but love must walk where kings once wept and touch the Sleep now soft, one stars above, roots below, and dreams of love. The night is deep but kind and slow, and you've more friends than you can know. The stream shall hum beneath your feet, the willows bow when next you meet. So close your eyes and breathe in peace, for shadow fades where songs don't